now, and with us we have former MSU Spartan Derrick Nix. How you feeling today, man?
Good day to be on the podcast. I appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate it as well. So, Vince, Marvin, guys, what was yours?
Well, Craig, you got to also say Mr. Basketball, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to put
That's
Mr.
true.
Basketball
I mean,
in there.
Mr. Basketball, Michigan Mr. Basketball, MSU co-captain 2012, 2013. I mean, it's Derrick Nix, man.
Yeah, you got to introduce my baby right. You hear me?
Skip, you know you big homie, but you know I'm humble, man. I don't mess with none of that stuff. But
I'm playing in a Power 5 conference like you did, big time school like State. Do you feel like that helped slow the game down for you as you went to the next level?
It did, man. You know, I had a lot of people pulling at me not to go to Michigan State. You know, they said I should have went to Pittsburgh, should have went to Syracuse. Some people said I should have went to Eastern, but as I look back on my career in the 4 years there, Michigan State prepared me for the next level as far as basketball go, but as far as the next level of life. Izzo ran a system. And I'm not like a Keith Applin or a Deshaun Sims or Marvin Skipper or Jordan Crawford or a lot of players I can name from Detroit, Michigan. I can play in a system or I can get my own buckets, but I would rather be in a system because I can do a lot of stuff. So it helped me out a lot for sure.
As that transitioning from Murray Wright to coming to Pershing, what was the biggest thing, I guess, was it mentally, physically? What did you have to do to get your mind prepared to be coached by AW Canada?
AW Canada really, I would say he prepared me, him and Coach Henry, Coach Mel, and those guys. They prepared me really more for life, you know, as life goes itself. So I will put that into the mental aspect, you know, because mentally, it's all mental if you ask me. It's really all mental. After I left Pershing, I feel like I could see anywhere in life if I want to work at the plant, if I want to play basketball, whatever it is I want to do. So more of a mental state of mind for me.
Now, having played the game at such a high level, and first of all, hey, man, bless you for all you're doing with the youth camps and stuff like that. But after playing the game at a high level and doing these camps, when you look at pro games, what do you think about the state of fundamentals in the game? Does it seem like, you know, we're seeing so many jump passes and leave your feet, not knowing what you're going to do with the ball? Do you think we're getting away from the fundamentals now?
We very much are getting away from the fundamentals because I was like more bred and more taught the fundamentals of basketball as opposed to like going in the gym with a million cameras watching me, and I wasn't a YouTube sensation. I wasn't a baller's life, and that's what I feel like is missing from the game. But the NBA is evolving more to stretch four men, you know, just more away from the fundamentals. I'm not getting away from the fact that if you can evolve like your game, developing as a big, a 15-footer and dribbling and all that, it's fine. But I was taught, you know, at Murray Wright, at Pershing, at Michigan State, the more traditional big way. So, you know, I've always been a traditional big as opposed to like Embiid, for instance. Love Embiid, one of my favorite players, but the face-up and all that, just I'm more DeMarcus Cousins, you know, get on the block and get the job done, you know, that type of guy.
So the game of basketball is getting away from the traditional big?
It is. It's becoming more of a one-on-one, you know, and I feel like for some players, it's good. It's for some one-on-one players, it's good, but like for like the, you know, traditional fundamentals, it's getting away from it for sure. Like I don't want to see the center shooting and, you know, shooting threes and jogging back and trying to do what the guards and the little guys do.
Is that like a shot at me? Wait a minute, because I feel like I'm the smallest guy in the podcast. Being a point guard, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that was a shot.
Right. So not to cut you off, but you're a point guard. So when you get the ball or when the ball come off the rim and the big is trying to push it, you like, man, come on, man, get the ball up and get down there and do what you're supposed to do. That's where I'm coming from. But nowadays you get the ball, the 5-man, the 4-man get the ball. You the first one off the floor, man. It ain't supposed to be like that.
So let me ask you this: can a traditional big come back and take the game over, or will they get passed up?
Passed up. And I don't think it's going to come back for sure. I think it's like a wave, and like what we're dealing with, like far as like everything in life go. I think it's just a wave where like these big guys are trying to like show that they can shoot and dribble, and it's okay for that. You know, Kevin Garnett was that, but for the most part, he stayed in his lane. You know, who can I say else, man? You guys name some bigs that can pop out and shoot, but still stay down there where they job or where they made their money at for the most part. You know, so I think it'll come back for sure.
Last things I wanted to ask you is, you see like the Fab Five documentary, Mateen Cleaves had the Flintstone documentary. Did you and your guys ever think about doing something like that? Because I know y'all were close, you know.
Well, this is all gonna fall back on Big Skipper. I want to do a documentary. I just got to get all my guys together because I feel personally, you know, Persian bred, you know, dominate, skilled, good, tough basketball players. But as far as like that 09 class, everybody say like basketball went down. It wasn't like it was back in the day. When our time came and our year came, we won everything. We lost one game to Southeastern my senior year because the athletic director, which is a coach, and he's been around Michigan, Coach Bone, cheated us. I feel like we lost because of that. Keith Apple hit the game-winning half-court shot to win it. So I want to do a documentary. You know, I want to get Juwan and those guys and Dion and Eugene and Dale and all those guys to do a documentary. Just the perfect time and the perfect place. But I feel like we definitely had the best team coming out of Persian. I don't care, regardless of class. We won when we supposed to, and that's what I'm riding. That's the wave I'm riding for sure.
Well, when you do the documentary, can Martin Luther King get a shout out?
He can get a shout out just because when I was over at Murray Wright, Martin Luther King taught me what PSL basketball. When we played with Ramar Smith, Big D, and Truney, and Coach White, they killed us. Like, I wasn't seeing that coming from Cleveland Middle School. Like, King High School we could never beat them. We beat Northwestern, we beat Cass, we beat everybody. But when we played Benny White, Ramar Smith, and Truney, and Big D, and all those guys, we couldn't beat them. There was nothing we could do. So King definitely can get a shout out for sure. Big shout out.
I appreciate that.
Big shout out to the Crusaders.
Nix, before we go to get into the campus stuff, I got a question for you. Not growing up being one of the top high recruited players, not being on a lot of people's radar, for you to win Mr. Basketball, usually cats who win Mr. Basketball, they already know that they're gonna win Mr. Basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What mindset? What work? Just tell the viewers from the beginning to the end, bro. Because a lot of people see, oh, he won Mr. Basketball. He must have been top 50 in the country. He must have been that good. But tell them how it really is.
For me, man, I'm from 6 Mile Davidson, man. Davidson, Just Campo area, and I was born with size. You know, some people. It's like Keith Apple, and they blessed with a talent to score, a talent to just put the ball in the hole. I was blessed with my size. Everything else, like I could make a layup. When I was 13, 14, playing at Cleveland, playing at Lundy Academy, I couldn't make a layup. So it's all work for me. So like I can't argue with a lot of these people, a lot of these blogs and stuff. Like, you know, a lot of players get on the internet and go Instagram and Facebook Live and they talk all this. I can't argue with them to keep apples of the world because I wasn't born with a skill. I was born with a size. So the finishing around the rim, the pick and rolls, the knowing how to read the game, the passing, all that came just with just grind. Like, you know, getting up every day. I used to get up when I was in 8th grade. I wasn't playing over at Cleveland. I was playing just the second half in the fourth quarter. That's how Coach Blake ran his program. Every day I was up at 5 o'clock a.m. going to Wayne State, you know, going to Murray Wright. Because I was supposed to go to Pershing. That's what's crazy. I was supposed to go to Pershing out of the ninth. But it was just somebody who had more investment in me than, you know, A.W. and Waddell, Henry, and those guys. And there's no knock to them, but they had Marvin Skipper, Deshaun Sims, Keon Patterson, Dale Ward. It was just somebody just willing to put more work in. That's what I needed at the time, so I appreciate that. But as far as like that Mr. Basketball go, I didn't know. Like, it was Deion Sims, Deshante Riley, Ben Simmons. It was just players that I wasn't, I guess, you know, equal to at the time. But I don't know, man. Hard works beat talent when it don't work, man. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I wasn't talented. I wasn't just, oh, he's talented. I was big. That's my talent. Being big was my talent, not know how to score 30 or score 40 or nothing. Being big and being from, Davidson was my talent.
So
So
being
I had the
tough.
toughness. I had the toughness and I had the work ethic. And
Let me ask you
I
this,
still
man.
live like that to this day. If you don't got either one of those, then you in trouble. I don't care what you can do better than me in the work field, in corporate America, whatever it is. If you ain't gonna outwork me. No way.
You just right there. You just spoke gospel, and I think that's something that the kids need to hear for real. You spoke gospel, but how instrumental was the Saint in that coming up? We were just talking about Saint Cecilia and what is bread.
St. Cecilia, this is gonna trip you out. The first time playing at St. Cecilia for me was in elementary, and I was out in Royal Oak and I seen Mark Snipes. Mark Snipes played at Central. He was the best player in elementary to me. But my first real game was at the Saint, was against Pershing when Murray Wright closed. So Adele was coaching. There was Eugene Davis on the team. It was Jawan Howard. It was Keith Applin. And there was a couple of my buddies on the Murray Wright team that, people may know or may not know. William Lockett, a couple of guys up I played with. Pershing used to press, and I know this because I'm a doughboy at the end of the day. I'm a pilot / I'm a mutt. I'm mixed breed. We played Pershing, and we beat Pershing. But I was still playing for Murray Wright at the time. I was breaking the press as a big man. Larry Harris was letting me play the point guard. So the St. Cecilia, that was like the highlight of my career. Like that's when I feel like when I beat Pershing at St. Cecilia and playing for Murray Wright, which the school was about to get closed down, it was like a nail in the coffin, man. I seen Waddell at the barbershop on 7 Mile. I seen A-Dub, and it was like, I'm gonna come here. I was catching the bus to school at the time. I caught one bus, was a Russell from Burnside in the quarter. It dropped me right off in front of Pershing. It was on the floor then. But it all started at the Saint for sure. St. Cecilia was definitely the Mecca. That was like my highlight game against Pershing. And then I went to Pershing.
He ain't be talking about I wasn't on that team, so he didn't beat me.
Skip wasn't on that team. He definitely wasn't on that team. But I feel like Marvin can relate to the stuff I'm saying because when I went to Pershing, it was always Keith Applin. And there's no disrespect, but when he went to Pershing, it was always Deshaun Sims. So we kind of always played behind that superstar on the team. But if you ask any coach, anybody around PSL, around the state finals, it was Deshaun Sims and Marvin Skipper and Larry Nixon and Demetrius Ward and Keanu. It was Derrick Nix. It was Keith Applin first and Derrick Nix and Deion Dismuke and Jawan Howard and Dennis Perry. It was other players, but you sometimes go in a situation where you play where somebody is bigger than you, but you still got to do what you do, but they don't win if it's not without you. So I feel like that's like that's why me and Skip can connect on so many levels because we come from like the same area and we kind of dealt with the same thing far as high school go. We both played for the family. We both went to colleges or schools people may thought we couldn't have went to. So it's a lot of correlations with me and Skip for sure.
And one thing he said was it's something I live by as well. You can be better than me, but for damn sure you're not gonna outwork me.
You ain't gonna work. You're not gonna work harder than me. I promise. I won't let you. I won't because I know you got. Listen, Keith. For instance, Keith outworked me just because he was a guard. That's the only reason he outworked me. I was always the chubby little big kid, but anybody else, only person that ever outworked me is Keith Applin. I've worked out with Deshaun Sims. I've worked out with, and I can say that to Petey because Petey my guy. He my big bro. Nobody ain't gonna outwork me. I won't let him. But Keith gonna go all the way to the last. If I go a half an inch, he gonna go one over a half an inch. So, but for the majority of the thing, nobody outwork me. I won't even let my mama outwork me, but she will for sure.
I'm thinking that's like a Detroit mantra. That's coming out of Detroit. Those are some of the hardest working. If you go to Kronk Gym, go to basketball.
It's hard being a big man from Detroit. It's hard. When you're not scoring 30s and 40s and you're not the Chris Douglas or the Keiths or the Manny Harrises. Petey was a scorer in high school. You kind of get like unnoticed. But when we play Finney and we play Southeastern, Ray Reeves and Mark White and those guys, they'll tell you in the papers. We go back. It's all documented. Go back. They'll tell you we didn't lose because Keith had 30. We lost because Knicks had 15 or 20.
And
his
10 blocks.
20 and or 10 blocks or 7 rebounds or a pass he made or something. It's never gonna be. In most cases, it will be, but for the most part, like championship and the state run, like I maybe scored 15 points, average 15 points throughout my state run. But in the state tournament, it was nothing nobody could tell me. I moved with Coach Canada, AW, my senior year and junior year. And when I moved with him in the state tournament, we was playing 2K. He was making me go to bed at like 9 or 10 o'clock. And I was respectful. I come from that way. So it was never an issue. But here I am in high school. I got to move my high school coach, and I got to go to bed at 10:30, 11 o'clock.
He was getting you
And I had
ready.
to go to school with him. I had to get out of this green van. He had a green venture. We called it a green machine. I had to get out of that van. People saw me. It was humiliating, actually, but it put me in position to be where I am today. You know, it put me in position to be able to make moves and go to Michigan State, take care of my family, and just do a lot of stuff, man.
So currently you're playing that now with the NBL in Canada?
Yeah, I am going back over there to play in the Canadian League in December. But if something comes up before then, you know, I'll be back playing in Europe. I had a situation with child support, and that's a whole other story where I couldn't leave the country. But all that is fixed, and it's back on the floor.
So that's a good segue. You guys are talking about work ethic and all of that, and that was going to be our next topic. Nix, what do you think in the current climate right now with sports going on, with social injustices and COVID and all that? Do you think that these athletes have, or even you coming from you, like what is your mental and how do you keep the edge and all of that?
This is a great question. I don't know if I kept the edge through the COVID, but I definitely lost the edge. Or not even lost the edge, I just lost the resources, you know. Like right now, I've been back and forth to East Lansing because I know that's where my life will be. But like this COVID-19 really set me back. You know, I don't know what it did for other people, but just like working out, like I work out in Lifetime in Bloomfield. I got a lot of places I go that has been shut down. So it's just been like a setback. But I feel like, you know, this stuff is over and I don't make excuses for myself. You know, I'm going to get the job done. But the COVID definitely set and put a lot of things back into perspective. For me, I learned that, you know, I was off 2 years. I gained like 40 or 50 pounds. I lost it. The COVID was a test for me, you know. And I don't like disregard the people because I've lost people to the COVID and all that. But as far as like from a sports standpoint, it was a test. It was a test to see like, okay, we're gonna shut everything down. Are you gonna stay disciplined enough to come back and dominate the Canadian League and be like that guy, like I was? But we lost the Canadian League, so you'll never hear about that. But I went over there, I dominated, I got myself back, I made my money, and it was just a test for sure. But it set me back, but it's just a setback. It's not a cancel out or it's not finished, you know?
Right. Because I mean, like I said, we've never seen anything like this.
This COVID situation has even the most high-minded nerds of the world, like this set a lot of people back as far as like sports go, and it helped a lot of people as far as sports go too, because like in the bubble, a lot of guys who was playing in the D League, a lot of guys who was playing in Europe got a chance because of certain people didn't go to the bubble because of family matters or because of whatever. So I can flip it, you know. I'm not ignorant. A lot of players in the NBA around Europe was able to prosper through the COVID, and I congratulate them because when you're an athlete and you know, you can be at 10 one year, and be at 2 1 year, and you cannot see no hope or lose faith or whatever it is. The COVID helped a lot of, you know, athletes out as far as basketball go for sure. So it's a hat off and a hat on for sure.
Do you think that the best product is being put out right now? I mean, as far
no. Now I ain't gonna take it that far.
No, you think that the players are still, because I remember, if I'm not mistaken, like LeBron used to go black, right? He used to go black during the playoffs, right? He would not post on social media, none of that, and now he is. So I wonder, does that mean anything, or?
I still take Avery Bradley at the 2 before I take Caldwell Pope. I still take, you know, it's like I appreciate all the players and I congratulate all the players that got their chance, but I won't say this is the best that's out here right now because some of the best players didn't even go to the bubble.
Right. Right.
Being said, I still don't put an asterisk on a championship because at the end of the day, you got to get out there and perform. It's mano a mano. You got to still
No,
put it down.
it's mano a mano, but see, I don't know how, like, what's the how I can talk on the podcast, but come on, man. The Clippers lose, Denver winning like this, it's set up for LeBron to win. LeBron is my favorite player, but
Yeah.
if LeBron would lost this year because of the pandemic and all, it just wouldn't have been right, you know? It wouldn't have been right. It's set up for, I won't say, it's set up for the Lakers to win, but they still have to go out there, like you said, and play and win. But you can't tell me, you couldn't tell me Paul George and them would be home like this.
But it's still real life.
I'm happy for players like Jamal Murray. For
Right.
players like I'm happy for those guys who really was like, okay, I'm this and I want y'all to see, and I got the opportunity and I'm gonna show y'all. But it still ain't, you know, it's just that weirdness in it a little bit. You know, that's all.
But it's still real life though. It
is real life. It's like, okay,
you know what I'm saying? Gotta adapt.
No,
you gotta adapt.
I don't know about that, man. I think this is an exception, man. this is crazy. You know, like I said, we got a lot going on, man. And even with the social injustice and all that going on, it's heavy, man. It's heavy stuff.
Well, how do you feel like it affected the Clippers when, you know, they had the meeting, the stoppage, and LeBron walked out the meeting, and a lot of the Clippers walked out with him and said they thought it was all over. But then to come back and play, do you think that stop and restart hurt them?
I can take it back to her, like when it's politics, man, because leave it to me. I don't care if I'm LeBron or Clippers. Just with the way the world has been and, you know, people losing their lives, I'm not playing no NBA games. I'm not. I don't care. I'm not playing none of it. But I'm figured it out. So it could go both ways, man. It definitely can go both ways. But this is LeBron still has worked, and he still is the greatest athlete in the whole world. So, and he's my favorite player, favorite person, one of my favorite people, one of the people I look up to. I'll never take this year because they're going to win the championship. People keep saying, well, Miami going to win. I like the hard work and the underdog status, but it's not going to happen. Miami don't got a chance.
Okay, so you got Big Nick's pick on tape right now. You got it on tape right now. Miami don't stand a chance.
They don't. Listen, don't say it like that because I like Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero and those guys, but Miami don't stand a chance with them. All right, Miami just don't. They don't stand a chance. They don't. But I just think LeBron is phenomenal, man. Like, look what he did. Like, it's just he on another level, man.
So you on your Charles Barkley guarantee and stuff?
I'm on my Derrick Nix guarantee and stuff.
I don't know. We don't know. Yeah. So Nick, man. So tell us, you got a camp coming up, right? Was that October 10th? Tell us a little bit more about it.
On the 10th. I'm very excited about that because I feel like I could have did a million camps and made a lot of kids and families, but I'm grateful for the guy who's running out at Oakland Fieldhouse. He set it up for me, and it's in position. So if you guys got any kids, y'all kids can come for free just because I'm grateful to be on the pod. This is the first podcast, first camp.
First episode, man. Breaking it in here.
Grateful for y'all to have me, man. I think it'll be a start to something good. I'm going to plug y'all with some other players. You know, some be too big time, but some, like me, super humble. They going to be grateful to be on the show because at the end of the day, when somebody, you know, showing you off and helping you out, it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
That need to be celebrated, man, who take your time. Those are the real heroes, man. So I appreciate you.
No, it is, for sure, man. Like I said, I'm grateful.
Here, we had a little technical difficulties. Nick, I guess, I don't know if his phone died or whatever, but what I did want to announce, though, before he left is that I Ain't Heard That podcast and Youth Are Bigger Than Life are going to sponsor 5 kids for his upcoming camp in October. You can email us at youtharebiggerthanlife@gmail.com or I Ain't Heard That podcast @gmail.com or any one of our social medias at the same name, Youth Are Bigger Than Life, and I Ain't Heard That podcast if you'd like to submit your child for the camp. Again, it is in the Detroit area. This is only for our Detroit listeners. Again, so email us, tell us why you would like the child to go, and we're, like I said, we're going to sponsor 5 kids. Let's get into.
Have us a video of the kid actually doing good in homeschool, or just why they love basketball.
Right. So again, you can just reach out to us on the on our social medias if you have any questions or anything of that nature. We'll be also posting it as well. So let's get into the next topic, man. Keep it with the sports thing. So Kobe Covington, UFC fighter, LeBron James.
This beef is kind of crazy because, you know, Kobe Covington was a young man that was fighting UFC, and basically he was about to be cut from the roster because he was bringing nothing new to the table. So in watching All-Star Wrestling, he invented this character, you know, and he's actually been making a pretty good living. Now you have to win and to go along with the character. You know, he's been winning fights, knocking people out, but at the same time, it's been Make America Great Again, and he said some things that are very controversial. And here lately, he said some things about LeBron James. You know, he said that LeBron James isn't a real hero, that, you know, the police and firefighters and soldiers are heroes, and LeBron should keep his mouth shut. Well, LeBron responded and said that, you know, a lot of guys talk a lot of stuff till they get locked in in an arena with him or see him face to face, and then they don't talk that stuff. But I'm like, is that really applicable to a UFC fighter? I don't know if he wants to see a real UFC fighter. You know, I don't think he wants that smoke.
And I think it gets to the point where, and I know being a tall guy and kind of heavy, I know what Bron meant. He's basically saying, like, usually people just talk over the internet, but when you see a big 6'8", 6'9" guy, 260 slim, all that chapping don't be happening. But to piggyback on what you said, man, all them UFC fighters are crazy, like super crazy. Like for you to be a UFC fighter, you gotta have a few screws, all your screws missing, not just a few, all of them. And he probably thrives and probably get off on that. Like he'll probably see LeBron and be like, "What's up now?"
I think there's a chance LeBron could win that fight. You know, I know that LeBron is a big guy and could handle himself in a normal situation, but them UFC guys ain't normal, man. That's cockfighting with people. You know, that's dog fighting with people. They're being locked in a cage and just battling. That's crazy.
Exactly.
They're modern day gladiators. You know, if you think back to the Roman days, I mean, yeah, that's kind of what it is.
No, it is physics, and to take that back, Bron is a hero. You know what I'm saying? He is a hero.
Oh yeah, he is.
Absolutely.
I mean, do you guys believe that what this Covington character is saying? Do you think that it's more like you mentioned that he wasn't doing very well, so he tagged himself on to something very controversial, and like we all said, LeBron is like the biggest thing. You know, he is the Michael Jordan of this generation, if you will. Where, you know, he's globalized the game even more, right? You know, it's across the world. Like, you know, I think everyone knows who LeBron James is. So you think that that's more what it is? I mean, because at the end of the day, we know that this is a half that LeBron's not going to fight him. He's worth way too much more money than this guy, right? So why would he waste his time on that? But he did say Covington did kind of hit below the belt with his mom, though, right?
Yeah, he did. He made it personal. But I say that to say this. He's no dummy. I mean, Kobe Covington knew that right now, with the state of the world, to hit your name with LeBron James, whether you like him or not, you have people like us talking about him. You know, this dude was relatively unknown, but now even we're talking about him. So I think it was a calculated move. It was genius on his part. But in this case, if it does come down to a physical altercation, as much as I love LeBron and would want LeBron to win, I don't think he wants that smoke.
Clickbait is what they call it. They call it clickbait. He just was looking for clickbait, and he got it.
Yeah, he's a 6'9" of the UFC. He's trolling, and that's the new thing now.
Yeah, true.
I don't understand that, but we all know it's not going to happen. I mean, they don't even see each other most likely, and I'm sure they hang out in different social. You know, whenever the world goes back to the way it should be. You know, I think they would have to go out of their way to even bump into each other.
And if Kobe
I don't know. Like I said, that as far as popularity, money.
Kobe will go to jail too. He put hands on LeBron, man. Them hands and them feet registered. So if he even think about doing something wild, he's going to jail.
That's true. That's true. But you know, I will say this, Craig, because you and your, you know, there is such a thing as physics. I ain't never seen nobody put their chin on a treadmill. You know what I'm saying? It only takes one to go night-night, man. Only takes one.
What I'm saying is that his physical limitations, right? Kobe Covington versus LeBron are going to be way less, just in strength.
Let me ask you a question, Craig. When you fight, right? Say you about to get into a fight, right? Altercation, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the first thing you do? You throw up your fist and you ready to punch, right?
Mm-hmm.
When is the last time you've been in a fight and somebody kicked you right across your face?
But again, he's 5'10". I mean, is LeBron's 6'9".
Okay, kicked your knee out.
Kicked you in your shins, broke your shins.
Yeah. No, I know what you guys are saying. I know what you guys are saying.
Because you got to think.
Again, I'm not LeBron. I'm not.
Let's look at history. Ed Too Tall Jones, and I'm probably dating myself here, one of the meanest football players in history. Big fella, stepped in the boxing ring, massacred. Okay, let's take it even further. James Toney from Michigan, one of the greatest boxers of all time, stepped into the UFC cage, was choked out in less than a minute. Let's go Kimbo Slice, one of the greatest street fighters of all time. His first soiree into the cage was whooped in less than a minute. Man, that's a whole different world.
Let's go even back to biblical terms. Let's go back to David and Goliath.
I just don't think. I mean, like I say, I don't think it's going to be just a quick over fight. I think LeBron will get his little shots in. But yeah, if he gets a kickoff, so we're back, guys. Really great episode, right? The first episode. How you guys feeling about it so far?
Feel good, man. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I feel like I'm with a good cast. You know, I feel like there's a lot of knowledge up here. I'm excited about it.
That was a great interview with Nix too.
That was great.
I feel like, yeah.
No, it was a great interview with Nix for sure. Like you said, first episode down, #1 in the books. Only thing it can do is get better from here, fellas.
Right, and that's what we strive to do for you guys. You know, we want to bring you the best content that we can with interesting guests. Like I said, we're going to try to do guests every week. We'll see. This is the flow of the show that you guys can expect. It will be sports driven, but we'll get into different topics. You know, social media type of stuff, entertainers, a little bit of everything. But we will be more sports driven. So first episode in the books of everything, but we will be more sports driven. So first episode in the books.